My next guest, though, coming back on, Ray Trevino, RT from also Pecos Energy, but really the Crude Truth podcast. It's probably what you're most interested in. You probably don't need any big holes poked in the ground, but welcome back.
Hey, James, thank you for having me.
All right, I want to talk to you first and foremost, Ray. We have the Middle East flaring up, and I know the Middle East is not the most pacifist place on planet Earth, but even more so than usual. We're seeing more missiles fly. Is it going to affect the price of gas?
Well, we saw already basically what it did. It went up barely a little bit, and now we're back down below $70 oil. As we all know, Iran said that they're not going to retaliate, and that, Israel didn't hit any of their strategic key places, whether it's nuclear or refineries or oil fields. So we probably won't see something like that happen, but then again, I've been wrong before, and something happens.
Well, listen, on your podcast, The Crude Truth, you had the Railroad Commissioner of Texas on, and some people out there don't understand, well, why would someone in the oil industry care about what the Railroad Commissioner does? But the real answer is a lot. Explain this to people who don't know, or transplants from other states, how they're so interlinked.
Yes, basically it's just the name of the organization that helps regulate and monitor the oil and gas industry in Texas. It's called the Railroad Commission of Texas, and those are the individuals that companies like me, Pecos Country Operating, that we have to, register with, get bonded with, to make sure that we're doing everything right out in the oil and gas industry. And what they really help also do is fight against administrations like this Biden administration and Harris administration to help protect the oil and gas industry as a whole.
Yeah, so do you have a preference on Railroad Commissioner? Or are you allowed to have a preference on Railroad Commissioner?
I will say this, that the three that we have in place right now, from Jim Wright, Wayne Christensen, and then Christy Craddock is running for re-election, those three have really made positive strides in the right direction over the last 6 to 8 years. And so hopefully we'll continue to have them do their work and just continue to do positive things in the industry.
I saw a while back you had George P. Bush on. What's he up to?
Now he's actually doing a lot of work in the oil industry, along with other parts of the of Austin. He's a great lawyer there at Michael's Best. In fact, they were helping us out with a project a couple of weeks ago. So he's still in the oil industry in some form or fashion.
That's interesting. All right, what else is going on in the oil and gas industry that the common person doesn't know about?
Well, we're still watching, kind of like we talked about last time, James. We're still really watching the race, the election. Another reason why the price is actually getting a little bit lower is some of the speculation is that Trump's going to win, and so that's already bringing down the price a little bit. There's only going to be two things that really move the needle. That's going to be OPEC opening up their spigots, and also our offshore drilling. If President Trump gets in office, he's going to really open those offshore fields for our companies to pick up and begin to drill and really move the needle for oil and gas production.
All right. Thank you very much, RT Trevino, Pecos Country Energy, and also the Crude Truth podcast. Thanks for being on the James Show talking about the oil patch.
Thank you, James.
All right. Coming up next, I know we talked about this yesterday. The rally at Madison Square Garden keeps getting comparisons to Nazi rallies and whatnot. But you're going to laugh even harder because they're not stopping there. Did you know Donald Trump is putting together a new Axis powers? Oh, yes. You'll hear the audio coming up in 5 minutes on The James Show. Give me your freelance early voting reports at 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We are 7 days away from an election. And in the other countdown I've been watching for you, it's now been 100 days. Surprised this isn't a headline on Fox News. It's 100 days since Joe Biden stepped down. Kamala Harris was the presumed nominee, not one press conference. I really thought at some point she would be shamed into having to go out and answer unscripted, unreviewed, unprepared questions for a long time with no recording, no editing, no help, no favorable setting. I don't think she's gonna. She only has a week left. But a lot of people are driving themselves absolutely mad. And the media is not helping much with all this talk about how Madison Square Garden was just a Nazi rally and all these other people just support Trump because they're fascist. If people really believe this, they're going to drive themselves nuts. Lee Richardson's back on from the Brain Performance Center here just up the road in Dallas. Do you see people who have driven themselves crazy by being too wrapped up in politics?
Absolutely. They become obsessed with it. And it's not healthy, and it impacts their relationships with their family and their friends. And, it happens every 4 years. This isn't the first time that I've seen it. And I think this year, though, we're more wrapped up in it. There's more, was the Democratic going to be Biden or Camellia? There's just more uncertainty. And the more uncertainty, the more we can obsess about it.
Well, I am not letting my younger kids even watch any of this. I don't want them to have to come to me and say, Daddy, why was there a Nazi rally in New York City this weekend? I don't even want them to have to contemplate these things and have it on their mind. Do you have a recommendation on when it is a good time to start introducing these contentious topics to adolescents?
Well, I think that the good time is when they can be done sanely and calmly and not through social media or through streaming news 24/7. How about sitting down at the dinner table and just talk about, we have an election 7 days in a week. We're going to have a new president, or at some point we'll have a new president. And just what questions do you have about that? And just kind of open it up, because they may have no interest at all, or they may have heard so much and they may have questions that it would be really beneficial for you to know were on their mind.
Well, I have sort of the similar approach to scary movies. My 9-year-old got it in her head last weekend that I want to watch a scary movie, Dad. It's Halloween. I want to watch a scary movie. Can we watch a scary movie? I was like, you don't want to see a scary movie. You're 9. You're not going to like it. And so I let her, and my wife's like, what's the big deal? Just let her watch a scary movie. So we watched the first 5 minutes of it. And when the clown ripped off Georgie's arm and ate him, we turned the movie off. So I told you, she's not ready for it. When is a little kid ready for a scary movie?
I don't know if some little kids ever are. And you've got some kids that they're thrill seekers. They want to see how much fear they can tolerate. So they may be ready when they're 8, but you've got others that doesn't bring me pleasure.
Heck no.
And I know.
Sorry, I was agreeing with you. Go ahead, Lee.
I'm just saying there's different kinds of fears. And to me, a scary movie is real, but to some people it's not. They're sitting in their living room and and the brain's amazing. The brain can tell. The brain's really good at sensing what's going on. And if it's a safe fear, like for some people watching that scary movie or going to a haunted house, the brain will tell them it's okay. You're not in risk.
At the Brain Performance Center, did y'all ever get a call from the Biden campaign before he was made to step down, see if there was anything you could do to help him out?
No, but I wish we would have.
All right, Lee Richardson, thanks for tolerating me and sharing your expertise on The James Show.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, if you have some early voting reports, get on the horn and let me know, 800-288-9227. In absence of some freelance James Show reporters, I'm finally going to sprinkle in some more of that audio goodness from Donald Trump and his 3-hour sit down with Joe Rogan over the weekend. That's coming up on The James Show. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.